How Genghis Khan used 1,000 cats to win a war in the 13th century. Genghis Khan, the most feared conqueror in history, faced a city he couldn't burn, starve, or break. So he unleashed a plan so strange, so brilliant, that it involved 1,000 cats and 1,000 sparrows. And yes, it actually worked. The year was 1219 CE, and Genghis Khan's empire was spreading like wildfire across Asia. He had crushed the Khwarezmian Empire, shattered armies, and conquered entire civilizations with terrifying precision. But one city stood stubbornly against him: the fortified town of Volahai, or Volahai City, located in what is now northern China, Saab province. This city belonged to the Western Xia dynasty, one of the earliest states to face Mongol fury. Its walls were thick, its stores were full, and its people, desperate yet determined, refused to surrender. For months, Genghis Khan's armies surrounded the city. They tried siege weapons, fire attacks, and psychological warfare, but the defenders refused to break. The Mongols grew restless. The Khan himself was frustrated. He was not a man who tolerated delay. So, he called his commanders and scouts together and asked a single question: what does this city value most? What will they give anything to protect? The scouts reported something unexpected. Volahai was a city rich in trade and craftsmanship, filled with wooden houses, workshops, and granaries. The defenders feared fire more than death itself. Every building, every livelihood, could be turned to ashes and ashes. That's when Genghis Khan had an idea, so cunning it bordered on madness. He sent a message to the governor of Volahai: I will end the siege if you send me a tribute. 1,000 cats and 1,000 sparrows from your city. The defenders were stunned. After months of bloody siege, this seemed like a strange, even merciful demand. They quickly gathered what he asked for: hundreds of cats, pigeons, and sparrows, and sent them to the Mongol camp. But Genghis Khan had no intention of peace. Instead, he ordered his men to tie small pieces of cotton soaked in oil to the animal's tail. As night fell, those torches were lit, and the terrified animals, desperate for safety, fled straight back into the city through familiar cracks and rooftops. Within moments, Volahai was ablaze. Every rooftop caught fire. Workshops burned. Granaries exploded. The wooden city became a roaring inferno, and as chaos spread, the defenders rushed to save their homes instead of fighting. That was the moment the Mongol army charged. Through the smoke and panic, they stormed the walls, cutting down the last line of defense. By dawn, Volahai had fallen. The story of the cat and sparrow siege spread quickly through neighboring states. It showed that Genghis Khan, his true power was on the Husbruth, force it with psychological warfare and strategic genius. He understood how to turn his enemies' strengths into their weaknesses. He used fear itself as a weapon. Some later Chinese and Persian historians, including Ala al-Din Hubayni in Tarighi Jahangusha, The History of the World Conqueror, documented this account. The siege of Volahai, while sometimes debated for its exact details, appears in multiple early Mongol sources and has been analyzed by modern historians as an example of Mongol siegeation. It is a striking reminder that Genghis Khan's success was never just about numbers. It was about mind games. The Mongols had no interest in conventional rules. To them, intelligence and adaptability were more powerful than any army. They could study a culture, learn its fears, and weaponize them. Sometimes with fire, sometimes with animals. Genghis Khan's empire eventually stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the edge of Europe, larger than any before or after. But what made him unstoppable wasn't just his horses or warriors. It was his understanding of human psychology. The siege of Volahai remains one of history's strangest military victories. A city destroyed not by cannons or catapults, but by 1,000 frightened creatures carrying fire on their littles. It's a chilling lesson in how genius and cruelty often share the same spark. Sometimes, the most dangerous weapon in war isn't a sword, it's imagination.